Ramadan ain't just about skipping meals. It's about self-control, patience, and discipline. A month where Muslims push themselves to be better, to reflect, to grow. Just like an athlete trains for the big game, they fast to train their soul. You see, discipline isn't just about following rules. It's about mastering yourself. It's about looking temptation in the face and saying, not today. And that's exactly what fasting in Ramadan does. From sunrise to sunset, no food, no water. But it's not just about the body, it's about the mind. It's about learning to control your words, your thoughts, your actions. Because what good is an empty stomach if the heart is still full of anger, jealousy, and pride? Every great person, whether an athlete, an artist, or a leader, knows that discipline is the foundation of success. A boxer doesn't step into the ring unprepared. A soldier doesn't walk onto the battlefield without training, and a believer doesn't face life without strengthening their spirit. Ramadan is that training ground. It teaches patience when hunger kicks in, restraint when anger flares up, and gratitude when the simplest sip of water feels like a blessing. It's easy to give in to impulses, to react without thinking, to live on autopilot. But Ramadan forces a pause, a deep breath, a moment to ask, who am I when no one is watching? And here's the thing, true discipline isn't about suffering, it's about purpose. No one fasts just to prove they can endure hunger. They do it to purify themselves, to break bad habits, to remind their soul that it is stronger than the body. When a Muslim feels the pang of hunger, it's not weakness, it's a reminder of those who have less, a reminder that material things don't define you, a reminder that real strength is found in restraint. And that's why it's not just any month, it's Ramadan, the month where Muslims reset, refine, and rise to something greater. Because discipline doesn't happen by accident. It's built day by day, moment by moment. And when the month is over, the goal isn't just to return to normal. It's to take that strength and carry it forward. Because real devotion isn't just for Ramadan, it's for life. This ain't a random month. This is the month. The Quran was revealed in Ramadan, a time when the words of God came down to change the world. That's why Muslims fast in this sacred window. It's a spiritual recharge. Think about it. Out of all the months in the year, why Ramadan? Why not any other time? Because Ramadan isn't just about fasting. It's about revelation. It's about remembering the night when the heavens opened and the first words of the Quran were sent down. Read. That was the first command. Not fight, not conquer, not take. Read, seek knowledge, understand, reflect. That one word sparked a movement, changed history. Ramadan is here to cleanse the soul. And it's not just about remembering that the Quran was revealed. It's about reconnecting with it. Muslims across the world open the Quran more in Ramadan than any other time of the year. They stand in prayer, reciting words that were spoken over 1,400 years ago, yet still feel fresh, still feel relevant, still feel alive. That's the power of revelation. It's not old, it's not outdated, it's timeless. And Ramadan is the reminder of that. Fasting isn't just about hunger. It's about making space. When the body empties itself of food, the soul fills up with something greater. The distractions fade, the noise quiets down, and suddenly the words of the Quran hit differently. They sink deeper, they mean more. Because in Ramadan, it's not just about reading the Quran. It's about living it. That's why Muslims fast in Ramadan, not just for tradition, not just for discipline, but because this is the month when everything changed, the month when guidance came down, the month where faith, fasting, and revelation all come together to transform the soul. Millions of Muslims, rich or poor, young or old, all fasting together. That's unity, that's brotherhood. Ramadan reminds them they're one body, one community, one family. Just like a great team, they move as one. Think about it. No matter where you go in the world, during Ramadan, every Muslim follows the same rhythm. They wake up before dawn for suhoor. They fast through the day. They break their fast at sunset, and they stand together in prayer at night. No differences, no divisions, no barriers, just one shared experience, one shared purpose. In a world that often focuses on what separates people, Ramadan reminds Muslims of what brings them together. When the call to prayer echoes at sunset, every Muslim, whether they're in a palace or a small village, breaks their fast the same way. A sip of water, a bite of a date. In that moment, wealth, status, and background don't matter. It doesn't matter what language they speak or what country they come from. They are one. They feel the same hunger, the same thirst, and the same gratitude when they finally get to eat. That's real unity. That's real brotherhood. And it's not just about sharing food, it's about sharing responsibility. They open their doors, feed the hungry, and support the less fortunate. Because fasting isn't just about understanding hunger, it's about doing something about it. It's about looking beyond yourself and seeing the struggles of others, feeling their pain and standing with them. Brotherhood means looking out for one another. It means lifting each other up, checking in on your neighbors, making sure no one is left behind. In Ramadan, that spirit is everywhere. Strangers become family. Mosques overflow with people standing shoulder to shoulder, hearts beating in unison, bowing and rising together in prayer. There's a power in that. Knowing that across the world, millions are doing the same, sharing the same faith, the same struggle, and the same devotion. That's why Ramadan isn't just about personal growth. It's about collective strength. It's about reminding Muslims that no one walks this path alone. They fast together, they pray together, they rise together. Because in the end, faith isn't just about the self, it's about the ummah, the community, the family that stands as one. See, fasting in Ramadan is about more than hunger. It's a test. Can you control your desires, your anger, your ego? When you strip away the distractions, you find out who you really are. That's the power of fasting in Ramadan. Anybody can act patient when things are easy. Anybody can be kind when they're comfortable. But what happens when hunger kicks in? When thirst dries your throat, when frustration builds and there's no coffee, no escape, no quick fix, that's when the real test begins. Fasting isn't just about denying the body, it's about testing the soul. It's about asking, who am I when no one is watching? See, in Ramadan, there are no shortcuts. No one forces you to fast. No one checks if you sneak a drink of water when no one's looking. It's between you and God. And that's what makes it powerful. It's easy to do the right thing when eyes are on you. But fasting asks, can you do it for a higher purpose? It's not just food and drink. It's every desire, every impulse. Can you hold your tongue when someone provokes you? Can you stop yourself from gossip, from anger, from impatience? Can you stay calm when someone tests you? Because real strength isn't in the muscles. It's in restraint. It's in walking away when pride tells you to fight. It's in staying silent when your ego wants to shout. Fasting makes you face yourself without distractions, without excuses. And that's not easy. But here's the beauty. Through that struggle, something shifts. You start seeing things differently. You realize how much power your mind has over your body. You recognize the strength and patience, the peace and self-control. And when the fast is over, when you take that first sip of water, it's not just about quenching thirst, it's about gratitude. Because the things you once took for granted, a simple meal, a drop of water, a deep breath, suddenly feel like blessings. And Ramadan isn't here to break you, it's here to build you, to test you, to reveal who you really are beneath all the noise. And when you pass that test, when you make it through the hunger, the thirst, the struggle, you don't just come out stronger. You come out transformed. It ain't just about the body. It's about the heart, the mind, the soul. Muslims fast not to suffer, but to purify, to reset, to remember that life isn't just about what you take in, but what you give out. A lot of people look at fasting and see only the physical side, the hunger, the thirst, the tiredness, but that's just the surface. The real journey isn't what happens to the body, it's what happens to the soul. Because the body will always crave comfort, but the soul craves something deeper, something real, something lasting. And Ramadan is the time to feed the soul, not just by staying away from food, but by filling it with something greater. When you fast, the noise of the world quiets down, the distractions fade, the endless cycle of wanting, chasing, consuming, it all slows. And in that stillness, something shifts. You start to see things differently. You recognize how much time is wasted on things that don't matter. You realize how often your mind is occupied with things that don't fulfill you. Fasting isn't about emptying yourself. It's about making space for what truly matters. That's why fasting in Ramadan isn't just about not eating. It's about feeding your soul, about prayer, about reflection, about reconnecting with something higher. It's about breaking away from the things that control you, whether it's food, social media, bad habits, or negative thoughts, reclaiming yourself. Because real hunger isn't just for food. It's for meaning, for clarity, for peace. And here's the thing, when the body is deprived, the heart becomes more aware. Gratitude grows, empathy deepens. That simple sip of water at sunset, it feels like a gift. That piece of bread, it feels like a blessing. And suddenly you realize that so much of life is taken for granted. Ramadan shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. And that's the kind of shift that stays with you long after the fast is over. Because in the end, it's never just about what you give up. It's about what you gain. A clearer mind, a purified heart, a soul that remembers what truly matters. And that's why Muslims fast in Ramadan, not just for the body, but for something much, much deeper. Why Ramadan? Why only 1 month? Because it's special, it's focused, it's intense. Like the playoffs in sports, when the stakes are high, you give it your all. And after Ramadan, you take that strength with you for the rest of the year. See, if fasting was meant to be a lifetime thing, it wouldn't have the same impact. It wouldn't carry the same weight. Ramadan is designed to be a challenge, a short, powerful reset that pushes you beyond your limits and forces you to reflect. It's like a boot camp for the soul, a time when distractions are stripped away and all that's left is the real you, standing face to face with your habits, your thoughts, your intentions. And just like anything valuable, it's temporary for a reason. Think about it. If every day was the championship, would it still feel like a victory? If every day was a test, would you ever feel the reward? Ramadan is 1 month because it's meant to be a moment of intensity, a season of growth, a time to go all in. And when it ends, the goal isn't to return to how things were. The goal is to carry that change forward. Because the real test of Ramadan isn't just making it through the fast. It's what you do after. If Ramadan teaches patience, do you stay patient? If it teaches gratitude, do you keep that gratitude? If it helps you break bad habits, do you let them back in the moment Eid arrives? That's the real question. Ramadan is the training ground, but the rest of the year, that's the real game. You see, a great athlete doesn't stop training just because the season ends. A great leader doesn't stop learning just because the class is over. And a believer doesn't stop growing just because Ramadan is finished. The hunger may fade, the routine may shift, but the lessons, the strength, the discipline, that's what stays. So no, Muslims don't fast all year, they fast for 1 month. but they take the spirit of Ramadan with them for a lifetime. Because real change doesn't happen in a day. It happens in the choices made every day after. And that's what makes Ramadan not just a ritual, but a transformation.